I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond.
Hello everybody and welcome to Oh the Horror. I've just recently watched Eden Lake, so I thought I would do a quick review for you guys. I've only just got round to watching this movie, even though it was released way back in 2008. It just never really grabbed me before, but recently I've been reading a lot of good stuff about this movie, mainly on Reddit. It's been mentioned a couple of times, so I thought I would give it a shot. Eden Lake is about nursery school teacher Jenny and her boyfriend Steve, who are taking a camping trip to an isolated part of the woods. Their trip is disturbed by a group of delinquent teenagers who eventually end up stealing Jenny and Steve's car. When Steve goes to confront the teenagers' leader Brett, he ends up mortally wounding Brett's dog, which kind of results in them wanting to get revenge on Jenny and Steve. So the rest of the movie is about how Jenny and Steve are trying to escape from Eden Lake, away from these troubled youths. This movie was unlike any other slasher that I've seen before. The roles were kind of reversed. It was the teenagers doing the killing instead of the teenagers are the ones being killed, which I thought was a nice twist, and it was something new, which is always good. The best thing about this movie is how it is very realistic. All the characters are people that you could bump into just walking down the street in every town in England. And the character Brett, played by Jack O'Connell, was acted particularly well in this movie. Jack O'Connell tends to play unhinged, angry characters very well, because I've seen him in a lot of other things. This Is England, Skins, and he just does it so well. And in this movie, it's really chilling just how kind of psychotic he is.
Nobody's died yet.
Oh, my fucking dog died though, didn't it?
I'm sorry, it was an accident. It was an accident.
Well, there's going to be another accident when I find that bitch of yours.
I recognise him as a character. I would see him out on the street. Maybe not the killing part, but just the general bravado of a young man who would like to show off to all of his friends. The Jenny character kind of starts off in this movie. She's very girly. She's always laughing, and I thought she was kind of annoying at the start because she's just so unlike how I am. But the further she gets into the movie, the more dishevelled she gets. Her dress actually gets darker, and with it, her character goes darker. By the end of this movie, she is nothing like a nursery school teacher like she started out. And I really liked that progression, that she's learning how to survive. The characters never really make unrealistic decisions in the movie. I feel like all the decisions that Steve and Jenny made were things that I would have done. And it always annoys me in horror movies when it's obvious they've just made a character do something stupid to kind of drive the plot. This never happens in Eden Lake. It's kind of it all makes sense that a character would do that, their motivations. When Jenny is escaping from the teenagers several times or hiding from them, it never seems implausible to happen. It's never, too far-fetched. In some horror movies, it's kind of like, well, that would never happen. The gore and the special effects in this movie are top-notch. There really are some moments where you will be wincing and going, particularly the bit where she's running and she steps on this big spike and it goes right through her foot and she has to pull it out of her foot. I didn't really enjoy that bit, but it looked realistic.
How does it look?
So gory and gross, but it just adds to the horrific situation that they're in. I mean, there's a lot of blood in this movie, but it looks so realistic. The ending of this movie was probably the best part of the whole film for me, because it leaves you questioning you know, that very question, who is the victim? Brett obviously does not have a very good home life, and you know, he wasn't born evil. He's kind of molded himself to kind of deal with his own issues. But there are some really sad moments in this movie where you feel sorry for the teenagers. They're so helpless and they're kind of in over their heads, and it's like they're too far gone to kind of go back, like that's it, they're murderers now, they have to live with it. The one thing that let this movie down for me was just the amount of times that Jenny bumped into relatives of Brett along the way. It just seemed a little bit too much of a coincidence that they were the only people that she could bump into. When she flags down the car, it's Brett's brother. The house she ends up in at the end of the movie is Brett's parents' house, where they're having a party with all of the parents of the teenagers that have been tormenting her. It's just a little bit too coincidental for my liking. I would give Eden Lake an 8 out of 10. The pacing was really good, the acting was really good, the special effects were really good. I really felt an emotional connection to the story and the characters, and I would definitely recommend anyone to watch this. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my ramblings and thoughts on Eden Lake, and hopefully we will see you next time. Bye!